Hey guys! The lovely Kelly at Kelly Reads a Lot tagged me in this book tag, and I'm really excited to do it. So it is the Exposing My TBR tag. I haven't watched her video yet. I will do that as soon as I'm done filming this, just because I wanted to see what the questions are live with you guys, I guess. So yeah, I haven't read the questions, so let's go ahead and start, I guess. Question number 1, how do I come across books to add to my TBR? BookTube a lot of the time, most of the time, occasionally Bookstagram. I feel like the variety on Bookstagram isn't, well, that's not true. I would say both BookTube and Bookstagram. Also, occasionally Goodreads. When I'm just looking through what the people I follow, what they've been reading and stuff, and the books they're shelving. Sometimes that prompts me to add to my TBR. I guess my physical TBR would be thrifting, because I thrift a ton of books that I have never heard of before. So I suppose that sort of adds to my TBR. So I guess those are my sources. BookTuber Shoutout to person who I add the most books to my TBR. I think this means which booktuber do I get the most recommendations from that I actively put on my TBR. I could give you a few people with whom I have similar reading tastes, but as far as like books I've never heard of and like introducing me to books I've never heard of and stuff. For middle grade books, I would say JD Ray reads. She always has middle grade books going, so she's always talking about them. But for like mainstream, almost anything but romance, I don't think she reads romance, would be books with Emily Fox. For Christian books, I don't know where I hear of Christian books from. I think more so from Bookstagram. I don't think I hear a lot of books I've never heard of on BookTube. Usually the books I'm hearing on Christian BookTube I've heard of before. I will give a shout out to Lou at Christian Faith and Fiction. She regularly does new releases, most anticipated. A lot of the new books in the Christian market Lou does mention on her channel, so I will shout out Lou. So you guys should definitely check her out. Next question, book that has been there the longest, like been on my TBR the longest? Probably something that was on my shelf before I even started BookTube. I'm gonna just check my most anticipated shelf here, not my books downstairs. I think I'm going to go with The Healer's Apprentice by Melanie Dickerson, because when I first started buying books from the thrift store that I had never read before, when I first started that, Melanie Dickerson was some of my first books. So I'm going to go with this one, which is really sad because I love Melanie Dickerson, so like, let's just get on to reading this, shall we? Next question, most recently added book. Should we just stick with physical TBR or my Goodreads TBR? Let's just check my Goodreads to see what my most recently added want to read book was. That's what I thought it would be. Gleanings, Stories from the Arc of a Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This one's not out yet. I believe it's coming out in September. Yeah, this one I just added today. Is that today? What's the date today? I just added it yesterday. So yeah, I really like the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. The first 2 books, significantly more than the 3rd book, but overall I did really like this story, and I'm really excited to read these stories of the Arc of a Scythe, I guess. I don't know. I'm curious about what they're going to be like, so I am looking forward to reading that. So that is my most recent added on my Goodreads TBR. My most recent added on my physical TBR. Ooh, I know. This one I must give some special attention to. Oathbound by Victoria McCombs. This one was kindly gifted to me by the lovely Chrissy at Chrissy's Purple Library. She is such a sweet soul, and I love her to bits. And she gifted this to me from my Amazon wish list, and I'm like, I was so shocked and beyond touched and grateful for it. So thank you so much, Chrissy, for this. I am so excited to get to it, like you don't even know. So this is my newest, recently added to my physical TBR. That's a mouthful. Question number 5, which book will I read next? Actually, this one. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one because this one I plan to buddy read with a few of my friends here from BookTube in September. So I will link those ladies down below who have expressed interest in reading this one in September together. I'm really excited about it because I hear such good things about this series. So this is gonna be my next read. Next question, most anticipated book and why I haven't read it? I mean, can I show this one again? I haven't read it, well, because I hadn't had it, and I don't prefer to read digital books. I don't really like it. So I haven't had my hands on this one until recently, and I couldn't get into it as soon as I got it because I had like so many that I was in the middle of, so I was like, I gotta pace myself. So this one, however, the question does say, yeah, it does say most anticipated. Okay, so guys, there's so many, but I'm just gonna go with this one because I'm really anticipating this one. This is a Christian fantasy and pirates. I mean, wow. That's a perfect combination. So I'm really, 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 really stoked to read that one. Books that I added to the hype. Oh, so this is a book that I read and I loved it just as much as the hype? Is that what this is saying? Books that I added to the hype. Or is it because of the hype? So I think this one means books that I added to my TBR because of the hype. I think that's what this means. We're gonna go with that. Books that I added to my TBR because of hype. I think Gentle and Lowly, actually, because I know a lot of booktubers here, mostly booktubers. I haven't seen it too much on Bookstagram, but a lot of booktubers have been reading Gentle and Lowly and loving it. I had heard one perspective on the book from somebody who I really respect, and they said it was just a nice Christian nonfiction. It was just nice. It didn't have anything that stood out from the crowd. So, I mean, we will see when I get to it. I don't know when I will get to it, but that one I definitely would have added. I don't think I added it right off the bat when I first heard about it, but because I've been hearing so many people talk about it, I have now added it. So, books that I added that I knew I wasn't going to read, I think a lot of the David Day books about Tolkien and his world, his Middle Earth and stuff. I'm not 100% sure that I'll actually read the David Day books. I've heard some iffy things, like he doesn't really stick true to Tolkien. However, because he has such a vast collection of books he's written on Middle Earth, I kind of do want to collect them still. And they're really nice looking. So maybe that? I don't know. I'm just gonna check my Goodreads TBR here real quick and see if something stands out as something. Okay, here's one I guess I could mention. The Last Quintista. I've heard a lot of good things about this book, but because I just don't think that setting is really my jam. As contemporary, I think it might be hinging on middle grade, young adult. I don't really like coming of age stories at all, so I added it to my TBR because of the hype, I guess, but also one that I'm not entirely sure I'm actually going to read. So let me know in the comments below if I should read The Last Quintista. Number 9, any books on there that I will remove? Oh, probably. Like, let's see, on my TBR, on my Goodreads, I've got over 1,500 books, so, I mean, if I read 100 books a year, that's still more than 15 years yet of reading. So I have no idea. I mean, very likely I will not read all 1,588 books on my TBR. So, I mean, probably. I just don't know which ones will be the ones that get the cut. I don't know. Number 10, grand reveal of number of books on my TBR. Oh, I just said 1,588. And I do try to add all of the ones on my physical TBR onto Goodreads. So I don't have 1,500 books on my shelf. But all of the TBR books I do own are on that shelf. So it is around 1,500 books. So that is the end of the questions. This was fun. I am supposed to now tag some booktubers. So I'm going to tag Lou because I mentioned her. I'm going to tag Chrissy because I mentioned her. I am going to tag Celestria. And let's see, let's add one more. I'm actually going to add two more. I'm going to add Shalise at Sodbuster Living. And I'm going to add Felicia at Little Prairie Library. I'm going to add those ladies as well. So, yeah, this was fun. Thank you so much, Kelly, for tagging me in this. I don't think I've seen this tag before, and it was interesting. And it made me think, and it made me dig into my books, which, as a book lover, is really, really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think of some of the books I mentioned. Let me know if you liked some of them or if you're also anticipating to read some of them. And we will chat books in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!